Have you ever seen those country-ball videos on YouTube before? You know, where they take an entire country, including its culture, national sense of identity, heritage, history, and of course their borders, and shoves it all in an overgeneralized, stereotyped, and mildly racist little sphere? Yeah, you have. Well, guess what? I did the exact same thing, but in WorldBox right here. We have 225 different islands here, all containing a different nation. And yes, you're probably thinking that number doesn't add up at all, but that's because this map has more than just countries. It also has islands and territories too, like the Faroe Islands, the Canary Islands, and even places you probably have never even heard of before, like Estonia, or whatever that place is called. And by shrinking all of these countries down into little circles, every single one of them has an equal chance for glory. And today, we are going to make all of these different islands fight each other to the death to see what the best country is. So let's get right into it. And to make things even more interesting than they already will be, I'm going to be utilizing the modern box mod here today, which means slowly over time, all of these islands will begin developing modern technologies, including different buildings, weapons, vehicles, drugs for some reason, and of course, even nukes as well. Things are about to get very interesting, but as we click unpause, you're going to notice that this is extremely laggy. Yeah, there are over 25,000 creatures in this world right here, and I don't think my PC is really equipped to handle that. That's why instead of usually waiting a couple hundred years to start this war, we are going to wait for 10 years. So yes, at year 560, we are going to make every country declare war on each other, mainly just so a lot of these people finally die and my game will actually run at more than the solid 12 FPS that I'm getting right now. But as we zoom into the countries, we can see that they've already begun developing with modern technology. As we can see that countries like Nigeria right here have already begun making slightly modern vehicles as well. And over the course of this video, as the war goes on, these guys' technology will only increase with time. But while we're waiting right here, I may as well prove to you that every single country is here. So if we just click on the kingdoms, I can now scroll through every single country present here. And there are so many here, I can't really spend any time looking at all of them. You can pause the video if you want, or you can just take my word for it. So you may as well go ahead and pick your favorite country right now and comment them down below. It could be your real country or just one of these random ones. Like, let's just pick a random country. How about you guys? Okay, maybe not them, but anybody else. I'm going to be biased here and go ahead and pick my country of the United States with their motto, guided by destiny. Huh, where have I heard that before? Also, that's funnier because this is a randomly generated motto too, because all of them are random. Just like Montenegro's motto right here, spear or fear. That is genuinely one of the best randomly generated mottos I have ever seen, but I'm getting too distracted here. I'm just gonna skip over to when we get to year 560 and we begin the war, because honestly, I'm not gonna lie, there's like a 50% chance my game will crash before it even makes it that far. I'll be right back. Here we are finally at year 560. That took longer than I would like to admit, but now we can finally begin this war. So I'm going to turn on map names for these countries. Yes, there are so many of them, it won't even show all of them, but it typically will show the biggest countries here so far. And then I will grab the spite tool and rain it across the entire world here. Just look at the left side of the screen here. There are so many, even as I click unpause, even more. But now the chaos has begun. As you'll obviously notice, I have angry villagers on, so hopefully these populations deplete quickly and we can already see world population absolutely crumbling as the death count is already 4 times. This is going to be a very long and grueling war. Honestly, this is pretty much just Squid Games, but instead of, you know, like random people, it's entire countries and their societies as well. It's probably more entertaining too. But there's so much conflict, it's really hard to zoom in even anywhere, but you can still see the fire and the flames on the map still. Thousands have already perished, and it's gonna get even more intense once the nukes start flying as well. A year has passed now and a single kingdom has not fallen yet. I mean, like, what an exciting war is this though? I mean, tell me right now, where else can you see Greenland fight Venezuela, fight the Falkland Islands, fight Saudi Arabia, all right directly next to each other? Nowhere. Or probably like Zyren's channel or something. He makes pretty good videos, but that's not the point. I'm also just noticing now that when entire kingdoms do end up collapsing, I probably won't even notice because of just how much chaos chaos is going on here. Scrolling over to the US though, they are down to just 17 people, getting absolutely walloped by Puerto Rico of all places, which is technically part of the US, so I'm not sure if this exactly counts or not. Finally, some kingdoms are following, like Indonesia up there. That's a big one already. And this war is so great because even historically small nations like Luxembourg have a fighting chance, who are so far doing extremely well. And now, quite literally just 3 years after the war started, world population has been slashed in half, with over 16,000 deaths. And naturally, almost all of these have come from conflict, but also burning and explosions as well. But despite all of this, only 2 kingdoms have fallen so far. And by the way, guys, I just want to mention, don't even think for a second that I actually made this map myself. I got this off the Steam Workshop. But a lot of kingdoms are starting to fall quickly, like the Gambia. Chile was destroyed. It's all finally starting to fall apart here. Puerto Rico took over the US. That's something I didn't think I was going to say today. And now everyone in this area is engaged in absolute insane combat. And by the way, if any of you are wondering why I'm not zooming in, this is the reason. The Modern Box mod plus the thousands of people lagging my game is making it almost impossible to actually zoom in, because literally this is all I can see for some reason. We're already down over 20 countries now. You can see Palestine was destroyed, China was destroyed, and Russia destroyed. Jesus Christ, what a nightmare lineup. All in the span of about 5 seconds as well. And it has only been 6 years since we started as well. Israel's about to fall. Iraq's on the brink of destruction. So many notifications are flying past my screen in the matter of seconds. It's actually crazy. Pakistan and India are ironically almost right next to each other, both on the brink of collapse. And you know, at this point, there's so many countries, it's actually hard to keep up. So we're going to quickly look at who's actually in power here. Okay, well, I think I have sufficiently broken the game, because in the Kingdoms tab, it just says that every single country is Aruba, with thousands of people and thousands of soldiers. Oh god, it's all Aruba, isn't it? Yeah, it's too broken even, so I think we're just gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way and see who actually wins here. However, Aruba is actually one of the last countries remaining with over 100 people to start, with their motto, "With truth and beer we live." That's a great motto to live by, isn't it? And we are down over a third of our starting countries at this point. There are so many desolate islands all around this map. And I do want to mention that civ babies and handsome migrants are owned, so these countries can repopulate after a war. Just the issue is there's so many of them, they don't really have the chance to. Puerto Rico's on their last leg here. They're about to fall, unfortunately. Though no nukes have gone off yet, and I know as soon as they start flying, they're going to destroy the entire world. So let's just take advantage of these last few moments of the calm before the storm. However, if this is the calm before the storm right here, the storm's about to be really bad. The Netherlands up here have kind of developed a smart strategy. They're on the brink of collapse, but they have expanded into another island. Maybe that's the method here. Most of these countries are just obviously destroying one another, but if they actually try to expand into other countries, they should be able to grow pretty well. But now we're down to just 100 kingdoms left, and it's actually insane to me that there's still 100 of these guys all around. And since the game has finally stopped lagging a bit, we can zoom into some of these countries and just see absolutely desolated islands. While we can see other countries like Syria have begun militarizing a lot more with some more advanced technology and stuff. But then we have people like this guy right here, Saror, the King of Kuwait, who is one of the last people alive in Kuwait, and he wields a legendary MIRV with 24 kills and these pills called the defensive Plattler. Wait, hold on, let me just check in the equipment editor. Okay, yeah, that's just fentanyl. Okay, fantastic. Great, man. You do you, man. Holy crap, I didn't even notice he has 1 health. Yeah, this guy's screwed. Just do whatever you want, man. Well, from what I can tell just with my eye, I believe the strongest country left is actually Crimea right here, which is probably due to them being in a very good location in the top left of the map. But they are not someone I expected to do well, but here they are. And of course, next to them is Switzerland. Of course, these guys could never get into any serious conflicts ever in their life. But finally, for once, it seems like the war has calmed down just a bit. Time is beginning to flow much more fluently, as it seems like most of these countries have gotten the initial warfare out of their system. But that's actually a bad thing, because now that these guys have actually started focusing more on growing, developing, and actually getting stronger, this means they can focus more research and development into nuclear weapons and stuff that'll surely end the world. But so far in this war, there have been over 34,000 deaths, almost exclusively from conflict, explosions, and fire. Almost 100 160 of the kingdoms are destroyed and things are not looking good. Oh, and finally, I was waiting for a bit. Over 100 years when we started. Of course, it's year 666. Nuclear weapons are finally in the air. It looks like they're being launched up here in the north. Looks like they're trying to nuke Greece, but instead they keep missing and hitting just south of it in this other country here too. And now looking at this post-nuclear world, I can see that the biggest countries are Suriname, Uzbekistan, Tasmania, and the Vatican City. It would be really weird if they won. And as we are down below 50 kingdoms now, we can see alerts like the king god of Kenya is dead. Okay, I'm not even gonna comment on that. Let's just keep this war going. Things have really come to a standstill now. Not even more nukes are going off. It seems like everyone's just getting a little complacent, but I'm sure everything's about to ramp up quickly. And that's exactly what I mean, as there are now tons of nuclear weapons in the air. And the world's looking especially bare now, as most of the kingdoms have seemed to fall. Only 24 total left, which, even though that's still a lot, that's only 10% of when we first started. That's just how many we had. However, Gabon, Sri Lanka, Colombia, and of course the Vatican are still on top in terms of population, as more nukes are being used and my game is beginning to absolutely break. I'm not exactly quite sure what's going on right here, but this is absolutely trippy. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff that happens when you play the modern box mod for a little bit too long with so many people. This is like some weird entity literally cycling every single PNG file in the game. I can see like all the traits and the different powers. This is actually like really cool to look at, but I think we have bigger fish to fry. And I'm honestly shocked that more of these countries haven't tried to expand and make new villages so far. I'm not sure if there would really be any downsides to that. Switzerland has finally been destroyed. Take that for being so peaceful. But as we are well past year 1100 now, we are essentially down to our last 6 kingdoms here. Crimea, Luxembourg, Colombia, Suriname, Tasmania, and the Vatican City here. Notice how there are 2 corner country islands here. I'm sure that's definitely played a role, since I think it's easier to survive in those corners. But so shout out to the guys in the middle here, especially Tasmania. But wait, isn't Tasmania part of Australia? Yeah, it is. Oh god, these guys are the villains right here. Okay, I'm happy with literally anyone winning except for them right now. But unfortunately, Tasmania takes Colombia. They don't even destroy it. Oh god, they're finally doing my strategy of expanding here. The Vatican's down to just 67 people. Oh god, this is not looking good for anybody, especially as Tasmania sends an army into the Vatican, absolutely obliterating them. This doesn't seem fair at all, as they are swiftly and unfortunately destroyed. So now just Tasmania, Suriname, Luxembourg, and Crimea remain, but Luxembourg's under attack once again. It looks like they are getting overrun by Tasmania, and they will unfortunately take down Luxembourg. Back to Suriname. No. What? Tasmania took them to... Okay, so wait, we're down to just 2 left. Tasmania with over 240 people and growing versus Crimea all the way in the corner, who has only been able to survive because they have hid the whole time. Obviously, everyone's going to expect Tasmania to win, but I honestly believe in Crimea, especially if they use their powers of nukes here if they have it. But I don't think that'll be the case, as they get absolutely ransacked. But Crimea literally falls in like 2 seconds to Tasmania, who is the last kingdom standing, and meaning somehow, some way, they are the winner here. Congratulations to them, but it's honestly crazy to think that, of course, out of all 225 countries and territories, an Australian one wins. My disappointment is measurable and my day is ruined. Here is what the world looked like at the very start. So innocent, so full of life. Look at all those countries. And here's what it looks like now, full of nuclear radiation and abandoned islands. And if you made it this far in the video, clearly I did something to entertain you, so I'd appreciate it if you would click like and subscribe. And that's about all for today. I'll see you guys in the next one. Farewell.